The emergence of technology has either given, of course, added advantage to people's lives, political development, economic development, and the general well-being of the people. And this has also been a concern that if technology is advancing, then there is need for policies of government, policies by organizations to review in implementing some of those things to meet up with the expectations of the advanced technology. And of course, as a breaking report coming in that the Binance executive who escaped from Nigeria have been arrested in Kenya, and the Kenya Police Service reportedly arrested Nadim, the Binance regional manager from Africa. Recall that the International Criminal Police Organization were working towards the extraditing of Ajawala to Nigeria within the week. On March 22nd, Ajawala escaped from Abuja guest house where he and Tigran, his colleague, had been kept by the federal government. Ajawala was said to have escaped after guards led him to a nearby mosque for prayers in the spirit of the Ramadan fast. A lot of persons have been accusing, why is government going after the Binance executive? Probably due to the fact that government have also called on the concern of the fact that they have a ripple effect. Their practices of Binance in Nigeria has a ripple effect in the country, or issues of payment, of taxations, and all of that has been the reason, some of the reasons why government have been going after the Binance. But all of these falls under a technological advancement. How are these things being done? I'm being joined by a tech expert and a Web3 marketing developer, Ifyokiyan, who joins us here in the studio for the purpose of this discussion on Big Talk. Many thanks for staying with us. Welcome, Ifyokiyan.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Let me just hit up. Do you feel that it's proper that government were going after Binance in the essence of contradicting to the fact that some of the report coming in for economy reviews, like economic experts said that Binance has a way of, punching bars into our economy? From your assessment, do you feel that government were in order to go after the Binance?
For me, I think the government knows what they are doing very well. I cannot say they don't know what they are doing. I think they know what they are doing very well. If I'm to advise Binance, which they did, Binance should calm down, do what the government is asking them to do, make sure they cooperate with the government so very well. I don't know how they escape, but saying Binance has some bad effects in the economy, I don't think there's anything wrong with Binance operating in Nigeria, because Binance, they are very big investors as far as the Nigerian economy is concerned. I read once on Twitter, someone was talking about Binance being the cause of dollar increment. That's funny. People saying that is actually very funny, because whatever was happening in P2P was actually whatever amount you are buying dollars in the blank market or in the bank was the same thing that was being sold using the P2P. So Binance, for me, they should just calm down. If the government wants to regulate the operation in Nigeria, they should calm down and maybe work hand in hand with the government. But Binance, I don't think they are having any bad effect in the economy of the Nigeria.
I mean, how have they been operating in the blockchain? How has been the operations of Binance?
For me, what the government was actually going after in Binance is not actually really the operation of Binance, but the P2P trading. P2P trading is how you have your asset, that's your digital asset, then you sell it to a fellow Binance user. It's actually a user-to-user trading affair. So they said Binance have actually helped in moving a great amount of I saw so online.
Do people change some of our currencies to Binance?
It's just selling. It's just selling. But you get the digital dollar, that's the USDT, which is pegged with that's the fiat, the normal dollars we use. So that's the only way it is on. You just take your Naira, you exchange it, you sell it to a fellow Binance user, and it also sends you the USDT.
So how do people make profit in the process of that?
I mean, how they make profit? I think, they are merchants. The amount they buy it from Binance is actually different from the amount in which me as a user, a normal user, is going to buy. So I think that's the way they make profit. I don't even think that's the way they make profit.
Yeah. But the most issue that government were having with people changing their currencies, buying the Binance.
For me, I think they just need data. That's what government said. I read online. They need data. Visit the top, whether 100 or 1,000 users of Binance. So they need data, because from what I've read, you see, I'm saying from what I've read, what's the government issue is that Binance have been used to move some amount of money that government can actually give account to, and also I think Binance should just cooperate with the government.
Yeah, to cooperate with the government.
Yes.
I mean, technology has been a fast. It has been so fast in the development from, I understand, from the Web 1 to Web 2 to Web 3. All of these has left so many persons, not really aware of how we are able to move from this. Take us backward, give us a background of Web 1 and Web 2 and Web 3 and how we have gotten here. For the advanced technology that we are having in the country now.
All right, thank you very much. You see, Web 1 was actually the internet whereby you just go online. That's the first internet. You just go online and you read. There is no interaction. You're just basically reading, which was developed using the HTML. It was actually static. Web 2 is actually what you are doing with your WhatsApp, Telegram is actually interaction, even Facebook, because you get to send out information and also receive information. But Web 3, which I'm an expert, I'm a Web 3 marketing expert, is actually the introduction of decentralization, that's blockchain, into building. It actually gives the data security and privacy. That's why for me, Web 3 is the best type of internet, which is the future, and we are still working towards the mass adoption.
Yeah, since you understand that Web 3 is now the future, tell us the operations. What does it make you unique from Web 1, Web 2, and all of that?
What makes it unique, like I said, I mentioned privacy. Privacy is one of the things that makes Web 3 unique. Data ownership. When you are opening a Web 2 account, you get to do what they call KYC, know your customer. You get to send out your data, and sometimes customers are not really secured. They don't feel secure about their data, but they still get to send it out because they need to use our platform. But in the Web3 platform, there's nothing like that. Your keys is what makes it unique. You are the owner of your data. Nobody controls your data. You are very sure of whatever you are doing is not controlled by anybody. Your data is secured. So Web3 is all about privacy. That's why you see companies like the Oasis Protocol, in which I have worked for them for like a year. Oasis Protocol are into pushing for data privacy. And companies like Ang, which I'm still working for, Anchor, they are building a new technology, that's the Neura technology. The Neura is all about integrating AI into Web3 building. And this AI, the main essence of this AI is to make sure data of users are being secured.
But in as much as Web3 has been pushing for data security, but we're having high rate of hacking into people's privacy. The process has been sometimes find people's accounts being tampered with, being hacked. How do we still have these hackers still operational?
Hackers, you cannot take away the bad eggs. Even in the Web3 platform, whereby we are pushing for data privacy, it still happens. They still hack, but they actually, because Web3, we bring in decentralization and data privacy. You understand? So what they basically hack in most time is actually your funds, which is being decentralized. But if it's your data, it's actually very difficult for one to hack in. And most time, one thing I tell people that learn Web3 with me, anytime you want to approve a transaction or sign in into your platform, make sure you get to read, because someone cannot just hack in without you signing in. It gives you total ownership of your data. So Web3 is actually the future.
About verification, how do they get to verified ownership? Who's the user and all of that?
It's through the signing. Like when you are using a Web3 platform, you get to sign to have access. But in Web2, that's what I'm saying. Your data is being owned or secured by a particular control platform. That's why it's centralized. You understand what I'm saying? But in Web3, it's purely decentralization. So you are sure that your data is secured. There's no fear of, like, I go online, I see people saying Mark has sold their data, like Mark has sold Facebook data, this person has sold, and stuff like that. In Web3, nothing like that. You have total control of your data, total control of the ownership of your data. So Web3 is actually the future, and it's actually the best. So I would encourage anyone to make sure he adopts the Web3 technology.
Yeah, we'll go on a quick break right now. Once we return, we'll be taking a look at how has artificial intelligence, the fact that we are now to live with artificial intelligence. What has been, how do we begin to live and interact with artificial intelligence in the process of making life easier for people? This will form part of a discussion shortly after this break. So stay with us. How many times was still stay with us? Of course, we're taking a look at the fact that artificial intelligence, artificial intelligence, also known as AI, has come to stay, and so many persons have been panic asking questions on how to live with AI. And we've tried to unravel some of our previous episode on what AI really means, and then how do we begin to interact with AI politically, financially, economically, in all sectors of the world. Artificial intelligence is the way to be. But how is it a threat to our operations? Is it a threat to our human endeavors? All of this will be what we try to touch. I mean, to have a dissect, I mean, a little view on what it means to stay with artificial intelligence in an advanced technology that you are. We understand that the world is highly going in an advanced technology space. But me and you have to live on the informed speed so that we can actually not just take for so many things unawares. Still being on the studio with me is Ifiok Iyan, who is a tech expert. Ifiok, give us, I mean, many people are living with fears about what artificial intelligence really means. Is it coming after us? Is it coming to stay with us? Or is it coming to take so many things away from us?
For me, I would say artificial intelligence is actually an area in computer science, and it's coming to stay with us. It is already here with us. There's nothing we can actually do about it. It's here with us, and the advantages of artificial intelligence for me outweighs the disadvantages, because if you are a tech-savvy guy like me, I know most of the things that do take me time before to do. With just my system, I can just tell AI, do this for me, and AI can do it within a short period of time. Then people now no more go through the stress of asking people to teach them what to do. Even as a developer, there's how you get to a point you don't know what to do again. But with just AI, what code should I write to get this? It gives you.
AI speaks coded language?
It gives you how, teach you how to code as well. There is basically nothing AI is not doing. That's why it's from AI that we have robotic. You understand? The only disadvantage of AI is that it's taking the place of human labor. That's the only disadvantage of AI. But the advantages outweighs the disadvantage. That's what I can say. Even now, it's easy for students now. Because before, I remember when I was an undergraduate, where we go through the stress of looking for textbook to actually treat a particular assignment. But now you can easily tell AI, give me textbooks on this topic. And within split of seconds, AI will give you all the textbook related to that topic. So how then will someone say AI is not good? My only fear is that in the future, because AI and robotic has taken over most jobs, though it's not predominant here in Africa, but it's coming in slowly. If you go outside into the UK, most jobs have been done with AI. Most jobs, because AI and it's making work very easy. It's doing, because if you ask me to define what artificial intelligence is, a part of computer science that helps treat what human beings can or will do. That is for me. That's what I understand by AI.
Yeah, I mean, you're also adding more, I think, pains to the injury already about the fact that it has come to stay. I mean, how do we begin to understand that we can create some path of maybe job sustainability, so that even when AI is helping us, but taking away some people's job, because I understand, like, for instance, content creation and all of that, AI, I mean, has already, people have just been using that to create content and all of that. Where there lies the place where we can actually, what can we begin to do as humans to create, you know, space of human endeavors to stay, the sustainability of human space, and then working hand in hand with AI. Because we do not, for instance, we are having high rate of unemployment in this country. I mean, in a country where we are still fighting of creating more jobs, and then we are seeing a system that is coming into the country to herald a new phase, I mean, to the system. How do we begin to manage all of this and also create a conducive environment to work together with AI? Because, as you said, it has a good advantage of assisting us in speed and all of that. What do you feel?
For me, I wouldn't really be able to tell you how we can manage it. But if I'm to advise young people, because AI is for our generation, that's the new era. AI is for our generation. If I'm to advise young people, I'll tell you to build yourself to a point that you can offer more value. Because even the AI is left for human beings to give command for it to work. AI cannot stand up in this office to know what you people will be doing. It's left for human beings to tell AI, this is what we are supposed to do. And through that AI will automate and do it easily for you guys. So it's left for all young people now to make sure they up their value system, up the value you can offer. AI cannot do everything. Even in the content creation you're talking about, it's still left for people that understand how to schedule the table for content creation, what AI will be creating per day. You understand? So it's left for everyone to up the game, because the era we are going into, I can tell you, jobs for human beings is going down every day, because developers are building and they are coming up with so much smarter AI. Before, we had AI on Snapchat where we interact every day. Now, but just 2 days ago, AI has come to WhatsApp. It shows you that there's no need for you to sit down and write mail again. There's no need for it. So before that, we're paying people who call themselves mail architects in the tech space. Now there's no need. Now a boss can just sit down instead of employing someone to write mail. He can be sitting down. He knows he wants to send mail to you. Just tell AI, send Edikan mail to do this, and in split of seconds, AI will come out with even a better mail than what you, human being, can write. So it's better. I would just everybody show up their value system, up what you can provide, because AI cannot do everything, but then AI can do 70% of what human beings can do. So just up your value system.
What has been the impact of AI in finance, in the area of finance? You understand rising of fintech and all of that. How has this facilitated practice of a fintech company?
AI has done so well in fintech company. So very well, because issues of errors are now minimal. Issues of errors are now minimal. If you understand what we call automation, where you automate everything finance, AI can easily detect issues and stuff like that. So, things that were taking maybe financial expert 2 weeks now takes AI split of seconds to detect where there's a mistake. So in terms of financial institution, AI is doing excellently great, like excellently great. So AI is even doing more over there, because there are no more with the stress of, before I can remember the issue of forensic audit with the NDDC. If AI was present in the NDDC system, where everything is automated, who will go for forensic audit when AI would have detected any issues they had, even right before the whole stress of the about month of forensic auditing. So for me, I'll say we should introduce AI to all financial institutions in Nigeria, because with that, if we can automate all financial institutions in Nigeria, in fact, we won't have any financial issues. So AI has come to stay. AI is the future, and AI is one of the best things that has happened to the human race.
I mean, you just touched about the government can begin to introduce some of these things into their system. Because if you look at the country, we're having now, it seems government wants to do more of taxation. I mean, high cost of a tariff, subsidy removal and all of that, just to be able to save a lot of things. Can this be incorporated into other? I mean, to help internal generated revenue, to help in taxation collections and all of that? How do we begin to have data? Because sometimes you understand that so many people are collecting tax in the country. One person is paying for this tax, is paying for this tax and all of that. We do not seem to have a centralized, system of paying tax, because you understand that that's how it works in other advanced countries. Do you feel that government should begin to embrace this and also analyze what has been the acceptance of government in reality to some of this technology? Because you understand the fact that government seems not to be far from the reality of what is happening, the acceptability, because some of the Binance issue, has been the fact that they do not really understand how this works. So many people that have been going after young people who are into the blockchains and all of that, where they are. What has been the assessment of government acceptability of AI? And what do you feel they can begin to do in placing them into some parastatal places to help them getting taxations and all of that, to unify, not just to unify the system, but also to create, impact in our development, economic development?
For me, I think Nigerian government is doing so bad in taxation. They are doing so bad. But then, and I also feel the Nigerian government is very dull in the acceptance of technology. I don't know if it's the issue of corruption, because with the use of just BVN, we can know every account that is up to 18 years that is not paying tax. So many persons are not paying tax in Nigeria, but they are working here, which is bad. Everybody's supposed to pay tax. So many companies, especially like some of this exchange. That was why they were going after Binance, because they need to pay. But if you can automate that every BVN that is up to 18 years, they must find a way to tax that particular individual. Then the Nigerian government will be sure of getting tax from everyone that is up to the age of getting tax. But then all these things are not being adopted. The Nigerian government is so slow in the adoption of the new technology. And if I'm to advise them, I will ask them to be rapid in making sure they bring in these developers, artificial intelligence developers, so that they can automate the whole system. If the whole system is automated, that's what is making the outside world, in which we believe they are really technological advanced, is a system of automation. That's why I see so many, I'm really talking from the blockchain space, so many companies like Oaks that I'm working for, they are into automation. They are pushing the automation technology in AI. So the Nigerian government should be very fast in making sure they bring in automation that can help Nigeria balance up everywhere.
All right. I mean, as we begin to wrap up these conversations about artificial intelligence, tell us, what then more should Nigerians begin to key into? What then should they begin to know in their fingertips, in their operations day to day, as we begin to embrace artificial intelligence?
For my generation, I still talk of my generation. I think everybody has adopted artificial intelligence. Would you tell me you've not used AI before? Everybody has adopted artificial intelligence. So our generation should just find a way of inculcating our parents to also adopt this artificial intelligence. If that is done, and also the government parastatals should also find a way of putting in fact, all government parastatals should have developers being employed, putting all these developers to make sure they automate the system. If the Nigerian system is automated, I can tell you, will reduce corruption to the lowest minimum, because you cannot completely eliminate it, but you can reduce it to the lowest minimum. So I just feel everywhere they should have developers who can bring in automation, and Nigeria will be a better place, and the adoption of the artificial intelligence technology will be everywhere. So that's what I can say.
All right. Many thanks, if you're here. It was a thought that of bringing to you, what is happening in the world of technology, and the fact that artificial intelligence has not just come to stay, but to live with me and you. And then we have all a role to play in adapting to it, understanding how it works, what it demands, and how we should in any way manage the future of artificial intelligence. We cannot shy away from the reality that is already facing us, but we can only live to the expectations that we can live with this. It is not a challenge, but a reality of surviving with it, staying with it, and working with it. If it can make work easier, if it can make things easier for us, that's the essence of technology. Technology is to make life easier. And then we can only accept the fact that artificial intelligence is coming in for good and not for bad. What can then be your role to play? What is the role of government? What is the role of society? What is the role of individuals? That's the essence of this discussion. We can only get better by keying into the fact that artificial intelligence has neither come to stay with us. And that's the size of today's episode on Big Talk, where we, of course, brought to you the realities of technology and the advancement of AI, known as artificial intelligence. We'll go for now, and then once we return tomorrow, we're taking on the big conversations, big talk, big stories, and big headlines in the country. Still with us on Big Talk here on Global Television. My name remains Deacon Michael. Many thanks for watching tonight. See you again tomorrow.